Hey everybody, I am Ty Craft, and this is
I'm Jordan Wallace.
that's right, guys, and we have Got God podcast, and we are so excited about doing this. Man, we've been pumped. We finally got all of our equipment, so we're ready to get going. Just a little bit about me, real quick. Um, I've got three beautiful kids. I got a beautiful wife, who's my accountant. My mom, when she needs to be.
Yeah, okay.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know why. She's gonna hurt me for saying that.
Yeah.
That's okay. Anyway, we're married.
Yeah, she
And,
can't get away from you. So
It's for life.
Yeah.
But yeah. Been on the praise team, and love to worship. Anybody that knows me knows that's my favorite part of worship is singing praise to God. And it's a little bit about me, Jordan. Go ahead, man.
yeah. Married, 2 kids. One's beautiful, one's a boy. So yeah.
So wait, are you saying that the daughter's beautiful but the boy's not?
Right. Boys aren't supposed to be beautiful.
Well, I guess this is meant to be real and raw, so I'm. I love it. I love it. Anyway, so guys, a big thing that we want to talk about. It's something that we both struggle with. It's something that we actually openly talk about a lot.
Yeah.
So we really wanted our first episode of Got God to be about anxiety, depression.
Right. And I mean, mental health is a big thing, and it's not talked about enough in the church. It's not. Period.
Yeah. Well, and you got a fine line too. You got a fine line between, it's a spirit and a chemical imbalance.
Right.
And so I think that's why it's not talked about so much is because, it's straddling that line. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, at Refuge Church,
yeah.
we talk about it often. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
it-
And when I mean church, I mean a church as a whole, and our views do not necessarily always go with, hey, we're just talking about Refuge Church, even though that's where we both attend. It's not always when we say the church, we're talking about the church as a whole. We're talking about the church as one body.
Right.
We're not talking about just our church. So when I do say the church doesn't talk about it enough, I'm going through, every denomination and in, every church.
Right. And let me say that about us real quick is that, we're non-denominational.
Right.
I don't believe in religion. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in the Bible. I believe in the Word. I believe in the truth. I
That's
believe
right.
in God. I don't believe in a religion.
Right.
So just throwing that out there real quick for everybody listening. That's where we stand on that. So the biggest thing is that with anxiety. Let me give you my testimony. So grew up in church. As a kid, got saved at like 6.
Oh yeah.
Super young. Grew
Same
up
thing.
Baptist.
Yeah.
The scare you from hell Baptist.
Yeah.
I remember we had an old man that always fill in and be like, "Oh goodness," and he just hoop and holler and
Hell or high water.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You're going to hell, and it was a lot
What
of
they
that
call it,
kind
fire and brimstone.
of. Yeah. Welcome to the Bible Belt, baby.
Yeah, that's
But,
exactly right.
But no, so it was a lot of that. And so anyway, we ended up, when we departed from that church, started. We were one of the families that started Crossroads Fellowship.
Yeah.
And loved it, man. Crossroads was super cool. It was awesome. Another non-denominational. More of a Baptist belief, more of a Baptist background, but
Right.
non-denominational, and nonetheless. And anyway, yeah. So the biggest thing for me was I started praising on the praise team when I was 15. Yeah, I was 15, and I started praising on the praise team, man, just in worship. But I wasn't worshiping.
Right.
I was just I got to play,
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted to do. So it was different. And as I grew older, man, I mean, I remember, this is stuff I haven't told anybody. High school was rough for me. We moved back from Florida, and the biggest thing for me is that it's 2 totally different areas, right?
Oh yeah.
So in Florida, it's all like the pop punk scene, and you skate and you got long hair, and you go in and have a lot of fun. And here, well, you're not that connected with everybody. You
Right.
can't just walk, wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
You can't just.
If you want to walk to Canton, it'll be a while.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as easy to hang out with all your
Right.
buddies and do your thing.
Yeah.
So totally different vibe, totally different
Yeah.
atmosphere here. And anyway, so yeah, I wanted to fit in so bad. but I wanted to fit in with the wrong people.
Oh yeah.
Because those were the people that were so cool in school, Dude, I remember, I wanted to be a part of this band so bad. And, some people will know this, and I could care less because this is for God. I don't care what people, I don't care what people think. And that's the anxiety side of it right there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be a part of this band so bad. And I remember laying in bed, and in my room, my mom was up there, dude, and I was crying. And I was like, just telling her, I was like, I just want to fit in.
Yeah.
I just want to be a part of what
it's
they
human
have.
nature. You want to fit in.
Yeah. I just want to be a part of what they have going on. So I kind of started to rebel a bit. And then in rebelling, especially once I got my license and started hanging out with my, close group of friends then in school and stuff. As we got older, we started to, drink and, and party and all that sort of thing. And, I just grew further and further away, and then I started making excuses.
Yeah.
And my biggest excuse for why I left church was because of the cliques, right?
Right.
And so I'm thinking about those cliques right now because you
Yeah.
do have it. You have it,
absolutely. Yeah, you do.
You can't get away from it.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so with those cliques, I didn't like the way that I got looked at, and I made it all kinds of,
Right.
I made all kinds of excuses for it and the judging and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it's all in my head. It's all in my head because where better to be than church whenever you're,
Oh
going
yeah,
through
but I
something
mean,
like that.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, church is full of imperfect people.
Yeah. So anyway, moving forward through the story real quick. Yeah. So I just went on full. Hey, I'm not going to church at all. I'm doing my own thing. I dove into work, and if anybody knows, if anybody's actually worked in car sales, then you know that hey, it's a pretty rough environment. It's a pretty rough atmosphere. It's easy to fall into that. And I'm not talking about drugs in that sense, but the alcohol for me.
Oh yeah.
I became an alcoholic for years, and and then a person that I was rooming with, his demons fed my demons, man, and it made it worse. It got to where you'd start drinking throughout work because I liked who I was better that way at that time, right? So anyway,
I mean, and you've said before you felt like you're a better salesman, even though that's not.
Yeah, I
100% true. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You make excuses for things that you want to do.
The more that you allow the spirits to be on you, the
Yeah.
more that your thoughts aren't your thoughts, right?
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so anyway, man, and then all of a sudden I just started beating myself up. Why am I doing this? Right? This is right after Jess, my wife, Jess and I got together a couple months after. It was, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Waking up the next morning. And I might not have done anything wild the night before. Now, I get pretty wild. I've done some crazy stuff, but I may have just sat on my couch, in the cabin and just got drunk by myself and then wake up the next day and be like, why?
Why did I do that?
Yeah, exactly.
You beat yourself up over it.
Started condemning myself,
Right.
Right? So, anyway, I ended up developing panic disorder. And now, do I have that stuff that is in my family? Yeah, I've got family members that are, well, first off, alcoholism runs in my family.
Yeah.
But mental health issues also runs in my family as well. Bipolar, schizophrenia, all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So, so getting into that, so I ended up developing this, and I thought I was having a heart attack. Dude, I've admitted myself to the ER probably 5 times over a panic attack and no one knows unless they've gone through one.
Absolutely.
What one feels like. And just how debilitating it is. Dude, there were times where I couldn't go to work. I couldn't go out to eat. Dude, there were times that Jess and I didn't go on a date for like a year, just because I couldn't go out in public. I couldn't be around people. I couldn't be, I get claustrophobic. We go sit and eat, and all of a sudden I get hot and I'm freaking out.
Right. We've been there multiple times.
Yeah. We've been together on this. Yeah.
And we're both sitting there like freaking out. Right.
Yeah. So, but what's amazing about it? So anyway, so getting through this, so dude, like for instance, my wedding. Let me tell you this story real quick. So on my wedding day, man, I was so pumped. Had a suit on, looking like a G. I thought I was fly, bro. We were taking pictures downtown, and not that I condone this, but we felt kind of like the movie or something. A little bit,
yeah. Felt like you was in a movie or something.
Yeah. It was cinematic.
Yeah.
But no. So anyway, we get to the church, And this is when Refuge Church was at the big building.
Yeah.
So we get down to the church and we're sitting there and getting ready. And then all of a sudden it hits that like, yo, this is about to happen. I'm about to stand up in front of all these people. It wasn't the fact that, oh, I'm about to get married.
Yeah.
Dude.
It was just the being in front of, yeah.
Man, I've known she was the one since the first 45 minutes into our first date. Like, I've known that, I love this girl.
That's
I'm
awesome.
married. Yeah. Well, when they say you know. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, now you do know. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I remember sitting there and Pastor Jeremiah Klein, which is a pastor at Refuge Church, where we attend, and he was the one that he married us. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Officiate?
Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, can't catch my breath. I'm tripping. So I go to the bathroom and start dry heaving, just miserable panic attack,
Right.
sweating, thinking I'm having a heart attack. Just there's no way I can stand up. Like I'm going to pass out, knees are weak. And anyway, my dad walked in. Anybody knows Eddie. My dad walks in and he grabs me by the shoulders and he looks at me and goes, son, you're fine. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. Which is the last thing that you want to hear.
Yeah.
So
I know I'm okay. It's just
I know I'm
Yeah.
good. I don't know why I'm like this.
right.
I wish I was different.
Right.
Trust me.
Absolutely.
So anyway, so then my dad, so my dad walks out and is like, all right, and he walks out. So my mom comes in, and my mom is like, son, you're okay. You're gonna get through this. My mom takes a little bit different approach with it than my dad does. She's a little bit more understanding with it. I love my dad. My dad loves me. Don't get me wrong when I say that.
Oh, yeah.
But and him and I are so alike that it's
Yeah.
like I don't really want to hear what he said. You don't really want to hear what I
Yeah.
said. But I got mad respect for him.
Yeah.
We're just alike. So
Oh,
anyway,
yeah. We all love Eddie.
yeah. So my mom comes in and my mom's like, son, you're gonna be okay. Hey, I love you. Like you're fine. Like you're just in your head. You
Yeah.
get out of your head. Something she tells me often. And I was like, I know. And I'm like, I'm all good. And she goes, you're keeping your bride waiting on her day. Dude, when she said that, I broke down in tears. I was like,
Thanks.
I'm ruining her day. So anyway, yeah. I just thought that-
There's nothing like a mother, though. I mean, there's not. Yeah.
So, but the problem is that I still didn't know how to handle it, right? I
Right.
still didn't know how to control it, even at this point. And at this point, I'm growing closer with God, and I'm growing closer through worship, through doing what I love, but I'm still not there, right? So, what did it for me is which first of all, dude, when it comes to having a person that is somebody you can always rely on, that's like probably the center of my circle as far as besides you obviously, but is like the center of my circle for just helping me, holding me accountable for the Spirit, helping me along. Dude, it's Jeremiah.
Absolutely.
I know it's Pastor Jeremiah, but dude,
Yeah.
that's like my dad. Like that's Jeremiah. That's
I think he's a father figure to a lot of people, and that's the role he takes on. He takes on the role of pastoring to a whole nother level.
Yeah, he's known me since I was a kid. Dude, I
Right.
used to tell him stuff that I was too scared to tell my parents when I was a teenager,
Yeah.
But the thing I love about it is because he's never once judged me, ever.
Oh yeah, and he won't.
Never, ever.
Yeah.
And even when I first came back to Christ and started coming back, whenever this wasn't even an actual church yet, and we were in his basement, it wasn't, man, what have you been doing? It was how can we get you growing? How can we get you serving?
Yeah.
Because he knows that through a servant's heart, you grow closer.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
Yeah.
but anyway, so the biggest thing is now, dude, I get attacked on the regular, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's because I've never been so on fire for Jesus in my life. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like, have I been like pumped and excited and wanted to do stuff? Yeah, of course I have, but I've never been at this level right here, and so correct me if I'm wrong. I guess I could look it up. I got it right in front of me, but who was it? Was it Peter? Satan told Peter that he wanted to sift him like the wheat.
We can look it up because we do have
Yeah.
capabilities.
So anyway, and I've heard this said a bunch, and I know people that have had, Holy Spirit tell them this. But as we grow closer, man, we get attacked more, and you get attacked in your weakest spots because it knows exactly how to push your buttons to get you to stop.
Oh yeah, Jesus warned Peter.
Jesus warned Peter. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say he wanted to
Simon.
Yeah.
Simon Peter.
Simon before he's Peter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, as we grow closer, man, it hits us in our weak spots.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm weakest, right? Because I'm weakest mentally. I'm weakest in my head as far as, man, I've got a health issue or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, I've told you before, Satan's not creative. I mean, he's going to attack you the same way that he knows it's easy. He's not going to break a sweat trying to attack somebody,
Right. And I'm, and dude, I just went and had a full physical done. Like, I know I'm healthy. I know I've got a good heart and a strong heart, but yet I still allow that to happen, but I'm human. That's going to happen. We're going to get attacked.
Oh, yeah.
But the biggest thing is how do we handle it?
Right.
So, like last night, right?
Yeah.
Waiting for the equipment to come, wanted to worship on our page.
Which was awesome, by the way. If you hadn't watched it, go watch it.
We wanted to worship on our page in the last song, which is Jesus, Lover of My Soul.
Yeah.
Man, I love that song. Such a great worship song
too.
But but at the end of that song, like you can hear as my panic attack gets worse, where I just start running out of breath. And I just feel like the breath I'd literally feel like I'm gonna pass out, like my arms are just like numb, tingly, can't feel my arms.
Right.
I'm just so in my head and just trying to push through and keep worshiping, because when you give it all to him, you give it all. Everything you have, even if you feel like you have nothing left. So in my weakest moment, just continuing to push through and just still pursuing him and just asking him for help, just worshiping him.
Yeah.
And at the same time claiming authority over my life, and through prayer and everything else.
Well, I mean, that's like we talked about last week, worship through those struggles, worship through those trials. And, when we gave the word at church, it was, how does worship, move that forward? And it was a good example. You worship through it, just straight up worship through it. And you may feel like you're about to pass out because you couldn't get any breath in, but your last exhale would have been Lover of My Soul. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, I'd have gone out praising the Lord, man, doing what I love. But we don't talk like that. We speak live, punk. But no, man. So anyway, so where I wanted to go with that is that in praising the Lord, man, they have put me on so many different medications and so many different pills to try and get this resolved, to try and figure out, how do we stop this? How do we help eliminate it? And yeah, sure, it'll make you numb for the moment.
Yeah.
But what takes it all away? The Prince of Peace, man, because we're always going to be attacked. You're not going to eliminate anxiety entirely.
Right.
Now, we focus on it more because we have it, so we're more aware of it. We're more hyper-sensitive, hyper-alert to it.
Yeah.
So it affects us differently than it affects others. But God, that's the only thing that truly just takes it away and just brings peace and brings bliss.
Absolutely.
And just 1,000%. So anyway, I just want to kind of give my testimony a little bit on that, where I come from and how I struggle with it, because dude, I used to love going to concerts, right? Go to concerts all the time, movies, dinner, whatever. I work and I go home, and that's it. And I come to church, and even at work, dude, I get attacked on the regular, a little bit of stress, a little bit of overwhelming, it's a weak spot. Perfect time.
Like I said, he's not creative. He's gonna come back to what is known to, that button that he can push.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's just Satan's a little kid, man. He's gonna come up and push that button. He's like, "What's this? Why?" You know how little kids ask why all the time. I feel like Satan's kind of like that. He's like, "Why?
Yeah.
Why? What is this? What does this do? Why?" You get those 1,000 questions, and that button. He always gets to push that button because he knows that button works. But until we don't give him the satisfaction of that button working anymore, then he's gonna stop pressing that button.
Yeah, and then you got the spirit of doubt that creeps in after, right? Which is like, man, I just claimed victory over my life. I told that spirit to go back to the mouth, which which it came from, never return again. Did it really go?
Yeah.
What is that? That's an invitation right back in.
Right.
So it's
like a merry-go-round coming back.
Yeah. So all that I'm saying is that, hey, look, I go through it, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm right there with you. I'm not perfect. I'm human. Never claimed to be perfect. Never will.
Yeah.
The only one that's ever been perfect that's been in human form is Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I mean, if you're looking for two perfect people for a podcast, you've tuned into the wrong podcast.
Yeah, no, we just want to be real and raw.
Yeah, and that's one thing that we kind of want to focus on with the podcast too is we just want to be real. We want to be raw. We want to have those real conversations and not, just the church conversations.
Yeah.
The going through life conversations, and you can tune in and just say, hey, I know I'm going to hear about Jesus. I may hear a couple funnies, but
Yeah, I mean,
we're
we're
gonna
just
focus on-
ourselves.
yeah,
like-
we're going to focus on the word. And we're going to
Yeah.
focus on, I'm a youth pastor, so I like to crack jokes and be crazy, but I
and that's how I grew up.
yeah, and I struggle with the same issues. Mine aren't as frequent, I don't guess, but when mine do come, it's a lot. So growing up, I grew up in a broken home with just my mother and a stepfather who praise God, my stepfather come through and he's an amazing guy now, but when I was growing up wasn't so great, and so I relied a lot on my mom, and my mom was always worried about the bills and about if she could provide enough for us. And my grandmother was a worrier. We lived 100 yards from our house, and she was a worrier. So I got all these worries, not only from my family, but it's a chemical imbalance, right?
Mhm.
So we often hear about spirit versus chemical imbalance. Mine's a straight up chemical imbalance because I've prayed every spirit I've ever known out, right? So when we talk about this spirit versus the chemical imbalance, I know I'm good because number one, God is 100%. Holy Spirit is 100% in me.
Oh
Right.
yeah, 1000%.
Yeah.
And if that's the way that I came across, that's not what I
No,
meant.
yeah, no, not at all. But I just wanted to clarify. And so, I grew up wanting to fit in the same way. When my group of friends, I never had a specific group of friends, right? So I always just hung around with whoever,
Mhm.
really whoever invited me, right? And so when we started growing up and in high school and all that, I got girlfriends, right? And so
Well, I was
I-
hoping you had girlfriends.
I
Because
attached
if you had
myself,
others, we're gonna this is a whole
right?
different
Yeah.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah. So I attached myself to them, right? Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
In probably unhealthy ways.
Right.
So, and then I was always constantly worried about, my wife that I'm married to, my lovely wife. We dated when we were younger,
Mhm.
and we fell off and then got back together again. But, we lived 2 counties away, right? So
Right.
she lived over 2 counties away from where I did, like an hour away, and it was always the constant worry. If I'm not texting her 24/7, then I'm worried about, what is she doing, right? So
Right.
it always developed from unhealthy relationships,
Right.
right?
Yo, listen, real fast.
Yeah.
My wife showed this much emotion whenever we first got together.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how many times I was like, "Are you still into me?" like whenever we first started dating, until I figured her out. you know,
Yeah.
Which thank goodness,
Yeah.
that's nowhere near the case. And
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
that stopped pretty quick. But yeah, at first it was like, hey,
Right.
are we still good? Like,
Yeah.
But I think it was also too, like you're saying, I was just so madly in love with her.
Yep.
But you got to play that stupid dating game of,
Oh, yeah.
you don't want to show it too quick and everything.
You don't want to
So-
say I love you on the first date. Right?
Yeah. So no. I mean, I totally relate to that. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
But so, and I think that's where a lot of mine came from,
Mhm.
was worrying constantly about, what that person's doing, because so, and I may have had attachment issues, call it what it is, I got daddy issues, so never know. But anyway, with all of that, I think, just the culmination of everything going together, and, when my grandmother died in 2015, it kind of set me off of, I kind of bowed out of church for a while. I was dating someone, and, who wasn't a real big fan of my family,
Mhm.
right? And so we didn't really hang around my family. We hung out with each other. We, that's about it, and her family. So, and that's okay. I'm not saying anything bad about, we're keeping it real and raw. I'm not saying anything
Yeah.
bad about anybody. We all learn from, past relationships and mistakes, and everybody's there for
Oh,
a
yeah.
season. So,
100%.
and that was one thing for me too, that I kind of got separated out from my family, right? And that worried me too, and that led to a lot of anxiety on my part. And when my grandmother died, me and my family weren't on the best terms, even though I was still living at home. it still wasn't that relationship that I've always had with my mom. And so when my grandmother passed, I had to go to counseling. I had to seek a counselor, a therapist, if you call it that. Um, and she really helped me work through a lot of situations and issues that I had dealt with as a kid that I never really thought about being issues,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So a lot of the times we just push things back as, oh, that really wasn't an issue. But in reality, it can have a lot of impact on your mental health. And so she helped me pull out all of these things and we worked through them. And, it kind of made sense in that aspect. So there was a lot of times that, she would say something like, yeah, that's exactly right. It makes sense. And there's nothing wrong with getting help from a professional counselor or therapist. I know that's stigmatized, but, it really did help me. And so, my aha moment was, I went to a retreat and dealt with something that I had held on to for a really long time. And, when you get everything and when you get the root sins out, when you get those root causes out,
Mm-hmm.
that's when your life begins to really flourish. When you get those things out that you don't want anybody to know about, you don't want anyone to ever find out about you, those things that you keep in the dark, that you keep in the closet under the lock and key with a deadbolt. And when those things come out and you actually get rid of those things, that makes a difference. And, do I still struggle with anxiety? Do I still struggle with depression? Some, absolutely. I think it's human nature to struggle with stuff like that. And if you've never struggled with anxiety and depression, I'm jealous, right?
Yeah.
But, even in I have to, my wife, Justice, it drives her crazy that I have to sit with my face to the door, right, at a restaurant. And it drives her crazy. But I have to be able to see my way out or, who's coming in and out. It's just, I guess, an anxious thing. I don't know. But, I can't sit, with people walking back and forth behind me.
Right.
Like a main drag at a restaurant. Like I'll request a different table. Like I just can't. And it drives her crazy. And I'm sorry, I love you. But, it's just how I'm wired, I guess. I just, even that just sets me off as anxious, and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But-
No. I mean, I totally get that.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing too is it's the unknown, right?
Right.
So you don't know what's behind you and that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But and man, there's all kinds of if you want to do Bible verses about anxiety, there's all kinds, especially in the New Testament.
Yeah.
There's some in the Old, but like Matthew 6:27, which of you by being anxious can add a single hour to his lifespan? That's the biggest one for me.
Yeah.
Is because mine's not so much about like worrying about what will I eat, what will I drink, what will I wear, I'm not anxious about that thing, but so the one that I really relate to is Matthew 6:27 is which of you by being anxious can add a single hour to his lifespan, right? So
Right.
if I'm so worried about dying, then what's it matter? Because I can't add a single hour to my life if I'm worried about how
Right.
much time I have in my life.
Yeah.
But as we continue to serve, and bringing this back to God again, because
Right.
I tell you what, this last, I don't know how long it's been, a month, however long it's been, that I have just truly just been studying, just worshiping nonstop,
Oh, yeah.
dude. I've been, I control the music at the store, at the dealership, and so I've just been playing worship music, but
Oh,
like,
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I've been playing like, I'm not talking like elevation worship, rattle, like
Yeah.
rock and stuff. I'm playing more of like the intimate stuff, the stuff that I love,
Right.
that really sets the tone in the environment, the stuff that the praise and worship songs where he really moves, like
Yeah.
Pursue, All I Need Is You, Hillsong.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
that's a great one, anyway, songs like that, and then they're finally like, hey, can we listen to some country? And I'm like, it's 5:00, we got an hour left. Yeah, that's fine, man. We'll put some country
Yeah.
on for you, But what I love about it though is that even there, they're Christians as well. They know their Bible. Like it's all about integrity and everything.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier. So what I'm getting at is that shrink your circle. And we hear this all the time. All the time. But it's so
not a bad thing.
But it's so true, though, is surround yourself by people who love God, who want to serve God, who love talking about God. Surround yourself with those people because you're going to flourish.
Right.
You're going to flourish, bro. And that's the biggest thing about it is that when you do that and you have all these different people holding you accountable and you're holding them accountable as well. So you're going through this together. Like, dude, you're my best friend. You're my brother. Everybody asks me if we're brothers anyway. And I'm like, and I'm like, that's my brother.
Sure.
I'm not going to be like, oh, no, we're not blood. I'm just like, yeah, that's my brother, man. Yeah. I know you said
different mothers.
I don't say that. I don't even say that. I'm like, yeah, that's my brother. It's my brother Jordan. And anyway,
our youth ask me all the time if we're brothers.
Definitely brothers.
Yeah.
But no, but you and I spend a lot of time together too outside of like churches.
Yeah.
And so and we hold each other accountable. We help build one another up. And you have to have that. If you're going to do this walk, because this life is tough, man. Like this world is tough, especially today with how connected everybody is on social media and everything. We should not be able to be this connected and hear everybody's thoughts and everybody's opinions and everybody griping at one another about politics or whatever, and I'm not going to get into that because that's not what this is. I don't
right, and that's what I've come so close to deleting Facebook or Instagram or
if I didn't have to have it for work, it'd be gone.
And the one thing that I do is keep it basically. I don't post pictures of family. I don't do all these things because it's not anybody that wants to see pictures of my kids. I'm gonna send them to right.
Yeah, but let me say this. So let me stop you though, because think about it this way.
Yeah.
If we didn't have Facebook.
Yeah, no. And that's another
podcast.
Part of it. That's another part of it.
So we're using it
ministry
instead of taking that negativity.
Yeah.
Let's blast it with positivity.
Yeah. And that's one thing that one of the biggest things that I didn't delete my Facebook a long time ago was ministry.
Yeah.
Because number one of the youth, not a lot of them have cell phones. That was a way to communicate. Blast stuff on Facebook, whatever. But the ministry opportunity for social media is so big. I mean, and we're getting into a digital age as to where, people aren't filling the pews anymore. They're tuning in online.
Well, yeah, but then we got to go faith over fear, which y'all hear,
right?
No, and me say that a lot. But
that's not what I mean. I'm just saying, like,
because right now, you've got something that's going around.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean, you want to talk about tearing families apart.
Yeah.
We're going to be real and raw. Let's be real and raw. I'm anti-vax. I'm not going to get the COVID vax.
Yeah.
I know you got it.
Yeah.
That's totally okay. That's your opinion. I know your stance on it.
Yeah.
You know my stance on it. I'm good with that.
And we agree and we love each other. It can be done.
Yeah. But dude, my family is like hardcore about me getting it. And it ran through the church recently, which is how all this got started.
Right.
Is because you and I gave the word together and led worship and everything else, and it was absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah.
The way that God just touched us, man. During that, it was so that's what sparked all this. But anyway, so was please get I'm not saying who said what, and I'm not saying what family or whatever, but please get vaccinated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not what I'm telling you about, And then one was, well, shut the church down for 10 days. Yeah. Listen, church ain't ever closing.
Yeah, the church shouldn't shut down.
There's I was watching old, I've been watching a lot of old sermons and whatnot. A lot of old words given, and there's one big pastor, and he was doing a live stream during COVID, and he said, you're not welcome at the church right now, and I thought, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Not welcome at the church.
You're always welcome at the church.
Yeah, this is a place of refuge, man. That's why we're called. That's why our church is refuge. It's how it started. It's what it is. It's what it always will be. To say you're not welcome at the church and closing the church, get out of here. Now, at the same time, keep one another safe. That's not what I'm saying. Hey, if you feel sick or been around somebody, don't show up. And then, hey, if you're supposed to be quarantining and you're said, hey, you probably should go home, then, don't be stupid. Don't be a child.
Right. Stay home.
Maybe you should go home and quarantine if your whole family's quarantining, So, but anyway.
That's where wisdom comes. Not a lot of people have
that. Yeah. Just being real. We are who we are. But anyway, see, that comes back into it again, too, though, that if, of being anxious about it, right? You're so worried You're so worried about COVID. And I'm not saying COVID's not real. COVID is 1,000% real. But I'm not going to let it keep me from him and growing closer with him.
Oh, absolutely.
We have to have church. We have to have fellowship with one another. And that's the whole part that I'm getting at with bringing this back around is shrink your circle, right? We have to have that fellowship with one another, because if we don't, and we're trying to do it on our own, we'll fall on our face every single time.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single time.
And if you don't have that accountability, and you don't have that, if you've got an accountability partner, it's like, oh yeah, you went and got drunk. Oh, that's okay.
That's not okay.
Right. Especially if you're alcoholic and if you have, those tendencies to,
right.
You have an addictive personality. I mean,
right. Now, don't get me wrong, too. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, don't drink at all.
Absolutely. But if you can't handle it, like if you can't, if you're a former alcoholic or whatever you want to call yourself, and you can't not just get plastered every time, which is where I was at.
Can't just not get plastered?
Yeah, so I every time I drank, I had to get plastered, right?
Okay, thank you. I wanted you to word that. Yeah.
So every time I drank, I had to get plastered.
Right.
I mean, it's just how it was. I wasn't drinking to just, have fun. I was drinking to get drunk.
Right.
And so that's
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, hey, if my thought on the whole thing is, one beer.
Yeah.
I
don't disagree.
Whatever.
Right.
It's not, but let me say this too, because a lot of people, I know we're jumping from different things.
Welcome to ADD with Jordan and Ty. No, but yeah.
Yeah, hardcore. Hardcore. And I don't have a structure, a list in front of me.
Yeah, it's cool. We're figuring this out as we go.
But that's what I love. We're literally sitting here chatting, but we're getting to share it with people.
We had an 8-hour Bible study in your backyard the other day, so man.
Hey, so as you can see, that abruptly ended. First time doing it, errors happened, and we ran out of storage space, and it died. It's over. So anyway, real quick, just want to let you know that our page, Got God Podcast on Facebook, you can anonymously message us, privately message us. So, hey, let us know what you want to hear. Comment below. Send us a message on a topic you want us to study and cover. If you like this format of the way we're doing it, want to see it done a little bit differently, we are open to positive criticism. Anyway, hey, we love y'all. Jesus loves you. Peace.